My child, pause and stay right here. Do not ignore this moment even for a second, because God is bringing something extraordinary for you in this season. This is not an ordinary phase of your life. This is a divine turning point, a season chosen by heaven, a time when hidden blessings begin to surface and long-delayed answers start moving toward you. Begin right here and walk forward with me. Because as you move with me, your worries will begin to loosen their grip. The chains of anxiety will start breaking one by one, and the weight you have been carrying in your heart will slowly lift. This season is designed to realign your spirit, restore your strength, and remind you that you have never been forgotten. Even when you felt unseen, unheard, and overlooked, I was preparing what your eyes could not yet see, my child. This is season 1 of renewal, where confusion turns into clarity, where sleepless nights turn into peaceful rest, where tears that fell silently are counted and answered with mercy. The problems that once stood tall before you will begin to lose their authority, not because they vanished overnight, but because your faith will rise higher than them. Doors that remained shut despite your efforts will now respond without force. Paths that looked blocked will gently open, and you will realize that timing was never against you. It was always aligned for you. Do not rush. Do not fear delay, because this season is carefully ordered, every step measured, every pause meaningful. Walk with me, and you will notice that your heart feels lighter, your thoughts clearer, and your spirit steadier. This season will teach you to breathe again without fear, to trust without constantly questioning, and to hope without conditions. My child, many times you wondered why things had to be so hard, why answers did not come when you prayed with tears, why silence followed faith. But now you will understand that roots grow deeper in seasons of waiting. Strength is forged in hidden places, and endurance is shaped when outcomes are not visible. Season 1 is not just about receiving, it is about becoming stronger than your past, wiser than your pain, calmer than your circumstances, and closer to me than ever before. In this season, your mind will slowly detach from excessive worry. You will stop replaying old failures, and you will no longer measure yourself by past mistakes, because I am doing a new work in you that does not borrow language from yesterday. This season speaks a new story over your life, one where peace becomes your natural state, not something you chase, where clarity guides your decisions, not fear, and where courage quietly replaces hesitation. My child, do not underestimate small shifts, because even subtle changes can redirect an entire life. A gentle thought of faith can silence years of doubt. A single step forward can end a long season of stagnation. This is why I ask you to walk with me. Not run, not struggle, just walk. Because as you walk, healing keeps pace with you. As you walk, understanding unfolds naturally, and as you walk, solutions begin aligning without pressure. This season will also reveal who and what truly belongs in your life. Some connections will drift away without conflict, some distractions will lose their appeal, and some opportunities will appear effortlessly. Not because you forced them, but because they were meant to meet you here. Season 1 carries restoration for your inner world. It begins where exhaustion once lived. It speaks where discouragement echoed, and it rebuilds confidence where uncertainty once ruled. My child, I know there were moments you held yourself together while breaking inside, moments you kept moving while feeling empty, moments you smiled while feeling overwhelmed. None of it was wasted. Nothing escaped my awareness. And in this season, what you endured silently will be answered openly. What tired your soul will be replaced with renewed vision, and what drained your strength will be exchanged for quiet resilience. Do not fear the unfamiliar feeling of peace when it comes. Do not question calm just because chaos was familiar. Allow yourself to settle. Allow your spirit to rest. Allow trust to grow without demanding proof immediately. This season will teach you that not everything needs to be fought. Some things simply fall away when you walk in alignment. Problems will not disappear instantly, but their power over you will. Challenges may still arise, but they will no longer define your mood, your direction, or your worth. Season 1 is about internal victory before external change. about stability before success, about peace before progress. My child, as you continue walking with me, your prayers will become softer yet stronger, less rushed yet more assured, because you will start praying from trust, not desperation, from belief, not fear, and from connection, not uncertainty. This season invites you to release what you cannot control and focus on what you can carry faithfully. Steps, choices, patience, kindness to yourself, and consistency. You do not need to have everything figured out now. You only need to stay present and willing, because I am handling what you cannot, arranging outcomes beyond your reach, and placing help in ways you did not anticipate. Season 1 will surprise you gently, not with noise, but with alignment, not with pressure, but with peace, not with haste, but with assurance, my child. Walk forward with me and watch how your thinking changes, how your reactions soften, how your hope becomes steady instead of fragile. This season is not here to overwhelm you. It is here to restore balance, to reconnect you with purpose, and to show you that your life is still unfolding beautifully. Even if past chapters felt unfinished, stay with me, keep trusting, keep walking, because Season 1 is only the beginning. Worries will loosen, problems will lose their grip, clarity will replace confusion, and peace will become your companion as you move forward, step by step, moment by moment, guided, protected, and quietly transformed. My child, as you continue stepping forward into this unfolding season, understand that what is happening within you is just as important as what will soon happen around you, because this next phase is shaping the foundation on which everything else will rest. You are not late, you are not behind. You're exactly where growth begins, and while it may feel quiet right now, this quietness is not absence, it is preparation. It is the space where strength is settling into your spirit, and clarity is slowly arranging your thoughts. Walk with me and notice how your breathing becomes deeper, how your heart begins to trust again, and how the restlessness that once followed you everywhere starts losing its voice. This part of the journey is teaching you to stand steady without constant reassurance, to believe even when signs are few, and to remain calm even when outcomes are still forming. My child, I know you have spent a long time carrying questions with no answers, waiting while nothing seemed to change, and hoping while things felt uncertain. But this next part is about alignment, about placing the right things in order within you. So what is meant for you can arrive without resistance. You are learning discernment now, recognizing what deserves your energy and what no longer needs your attention, and as this awareness grows, many pressures will quietly fall away. You will stop overanalyzing every step. You will stop blaming yourself for things that were never yours to fix, and you will begin to sense a gentle confidence rising, the kind that does not need validation, the kind that remains even when circumstances fluctuate. This is where inner stability is being established, and once it is set, external challenges will no longer shake you the same way. My child, some days may still feel slow, and some moments may bring doubt back to the surface, but do not be discouraged by that. Growth is not a straight line. It is a refining process, and every pause serves a purpose. Every delay protects you from rushing into what you are not ready to carry. I am guiding you not only toward answers, but toward maturity, patience, and wisdom, because what is coming requires those qualities. This part of the season is also teaching you to trust your instincts again, to listen to that gentle inner knowing instead of fear-driven thoughts. You will notice that decision-making becomes easier, reactions become calmer, and situations that once overwhelmed you no longer trigger the same intensity. This is progress, even if it feels subtle, and soon you will look back and realize how much stronger you have become, without even noticing it. My child, the doubts that once told you nothing would change are losing their influence, because your confidence is no longer based on circumstances. It is rooted in trust, and that trust is anchoring you steadily. This part of the journey is giving you the ability to wait without worry, to move without anxiety, and to hope without pressure. Stay present, stay consistent, and keep walking with me, because the more you release control, the more smoothly things will begin to align. Help will come from unexpected places. Clarity will replace confusion at the right moments, and solutions will appear when you are ready to receive them, not before, not after, but precisely on time, my child. You are not meant to carry everything at once. Take each step as it comes and allow peace to guide your pace. This is still Season 1, and it is quietly preparing you for what follows, strengthening your mindset, grounding your emotions, and teaching you to move forward without fear. Worries will continue to fade, problems will continue to lose their weight, and your life will begin reflecting the internal shift taking place within you. Keep going, keep trusting, because this journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Within your thoughts, something begins to realign quietly. Not with force, but with gentle certainty, as if unseen hands are arranging everything that once felt scattered. And you slowly realize that the heaviness you carried for so long is no longer sitting in the same place. It has shifted, softened, loosened its hold. This part of the journey is meeting you in the middle of who you were and who you are becoming. And here, right in between, growth is happening without noise, without announcement, without the need for explanation. My child, this middle space is sacred because it is where habits change, where perceptions turn, and where old patterns finally release their grip. You may not notice it immediately, but your reactions are changing. Your thinking is calmer, your spirit is steadier, and what once triggered fear now invites reflection. This is not coincidence. This is alignment, happening right now while you continue walking. This part teaches you that not everything requires resolution before peace can exist. Some peace arrives simply because you allowed yourself to stop resisting the process. And as you remain here, balanced between past and next, you start understanding that your value was never dependent on speed, comparison, or outcomes. It was always present, waiting for you to recognize it. The middle is where patience matures, where faith becomes practical, and where trust learns to breathe without tension. My child, many times you thought you needed closure to move on, but here you are moving forward without it, stronger, clearer, and more centered. Because clarity does not always arrive as answers, sometimes it arrives as acceptance, and acceptance is power. In this middle space, distractions fade. Unnecessary noise loses its authority, and you begin listening more closely to what truly matters. You stop replaying conversations. You stop imagining worst outcomes. You stop punishing yourself for things you have already outgrown. This is growth unfolding silently. You are no longer operating from survival. You are learning stability. And that stability is becoming your new foundation. The middle teaches you endurance without exhaustion and consistency without pressure. You are not rushing ahead, and you are not held back. You are progressing at a pace that strengthens rather than drains you. And as this awareness settles in, confidence returns in a quieter form, not demanding attention, just supporting each step. My child, remaining in the middle requires courage, because it asks you to trust without guarantees, to move without clear markers, and to believe without constant confirmation. And yet you are doing it. Even on days you doubt yourself, even when clarity feels delayed, you are still moving, still choosing growth, still allowing change. And that is enough. This space between beginning and arrival is where resilience is built, where your inner world becomes strong enough to support what is coming next. You may feel moments of uncertainty here, but they will not consume you because calm now speaks louder than fear. This middle part is not empty, it is purposeful, layered, and rich with quiet transformation. And as you remain present within it, you will begin noticing that decisions feel lighter, thoughts feel clearer, and hope feels steady instead of fragile. This is the place where trust becomes natural, where peace settles without effort, where your spirit learns that it does not need to struggle to be secure. And slowly, without dramatic change, you begin transitioning out of this middle space, carrying with you strength you did not realize you were building, clarity you did not expect, and balance you once believed was out of reach. And just as you sense yourself moving beyond this point, still centered, still steady, still aligned, you find yourself gently concluding this moment not with certainty of outcomes, but with certainty within, still moving, still growing, still walking forward as the journey continues, unfolding through the quiet middle of becoming. In the slow unfolding of time, you begin to sense that something deeper than circumstance is changing, not outside first, but within you, because real transformation never announces itself with noise. It enters quietly, settles gently, and rewrites you from the inside. This stage of the journey is not about dramatic breakthroughs. It is about subtle recalibration, about learning how to exist without carrying constant urgency in your chest, how to breathe without feeling rushed by expectations, and how to trust the unfolding without gripping the outcome. My child, this phase meets you where old versions of you once tried to control everything, and invites you instead to cooperate with growth. You are no longer fighting life. You are learning how to move with it, and that shift alone is reshaping your entire experience. Here in this continuation, you are being taught endurance without fatigue, patience without frustration, and hope without pressure. Your thoughts are beginning to slow down, not because you have fewer responsibilities, but because your inner world is no longer chaotic. Clarity does not always come as answers. Sometimes it comes as calm, and calm is now becoming familiar to you. What once felt uncertain now feels manageable, not because you know everything, but because you trust yourself to handle what comes. This is maturity forming quietly, and it lasts longer than emotional intensity ever could. My child, you are entering a rhythm where effort feels balanced, where rest is no longer associated with guilt, where movement feels intentional rather than reactive. This rhythm will protect you from burnout, confusion, and emotional exhaustion later, because you are learning balance now. Many people collapse under blessings they were not prepared to carry, but you are being prepared thoroughly, without haste, without noise, without pressure. This part of the journey is strengthening your internal structure, so when progress accelerates, you remain steady rather than overwhelmed. You are learning how to stay centered regardless of pace, and that is power. Most never develop, my child. Progress is starting to feel natural instead of forced. Choices feel less complicated, emotions feel less exaggerated, and reactions feel measured rather than impulsive. This is not because life became easier, but because you became steadier, and steadiness changes everything. In this continuation, you are also being released from the need to constantly justify your path. You no longer owe explanations for your pace, your pauses, or your priorities. Alignment does not require approval, and peace does not seek permission. You are beginning to stand confidently within your own timing, and that confidence is grounding you deeply, my child. There was a time when waiting felt like punishment, but now waiting feels purposeful, because you sense that something is forming rather than being withheld. Patience is no longer empty. It is active. It is shaping discernment, emotional intelligence, and resilience within you. You are learning how to observe without absorbing stress, how to care without carrying burden, and how to remain present without attachment to worry. This is advanced growth, and it often goes unnoticed by those who measure success only by external movement. But internal alignment always precedes sustainable change. My child, as this continuation unfolds, you will notice that your sense of identity is stabilizing. You no longer feel pressured to become someone else to succeed. You are becoming more anchored in who you already are, and from that anchor, consistent progress naturally follows. You are not chasing validation anymore. You are cultivating alignment, and that is why your decisions are becoming cleaner, your boundaries clearer, and your focus sharper. This season is not about standing out. It is about standing firm, because firm foundations support lasting expansion. You are no longer driven by urgency, comparison, or fear of missing out. You are guided by discernment, wisdom, and clarity. This shift will protect you from unnecessary detours and emotional depletion, my child. Many of the struggles you once imagined ahead will never appear. Not because life lacks challenge, but because your perception is changing. Problems lose power when you stop feeding them with fear, and solutions reveal themselves more easily when your mind is settled. This continuation is teaching you to trust delays, respect pauses, and honor gradual progress. Because everything meaningful grows in stages, and you are progressing exactly as intended. You may still encounter resistance externally, but internally you are becoming unshakable. And that inner stability will change how every challenge meets you. Instead of reacting, you will evaluate instead of panicking. You will adjust instead of rushing. You will choose deliberately. This is the result of deep internal work being completed quietly. My child, you are no longer operating from survival patterns. You are learning stability patterns, and those patterns support longevity, clarity, and peace. You are also developing emotional neutrality, not emotional detachment, but emotional balance where feelings inform you rather than control you. This balance will allow you to move through success and difficulty with equal composure. Because your identity is no longer tied to momentary outcomes, as this continuation deepens, you will notice that even silence feels different. It no longer feels empty or threatening. It feels spacious, reflective, and grounding. Silence becomes a place of insight rather than anxiety, and this comfort with quiet is a sign of inner security. My child, this continuation is not preparing you for a single outcome. It is preparing you for a way of living, one marked by steadiness, clarity, patience, and purposeful action. When the next stages arrive,